Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica and I make videos all about making and selling candles. If you guys are interested in checking out what my Etsy shop looks like, or if you want to see any of my merch designs, go ahead and check out the first links in the description box below. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about inventory, how much inventory you should have before you launch, and how long you should be letting your candles or wax melt cure before you sell them. So this is something that I've definitely learned along the way. My Etsy shop has been open for almost 5 months, and I've sold a little over 300 items in my shop. So when I first thought about opening up an Etsy shop, first of all, when you think about launching, I had no idea what that meant. I didn't really understand what it was that you were launching. I understood that it was opening up your Etsy shop, but I didn't really know what that entailed. I didn't know how to go about doing that until I did it myself. So when I was really looking into how to launch my Etsy store, basically all you do is you just upload your items onto Etsy, onto your Etsy shop, and then you tell everybody about it when you're ready to sell. That's pretty much what it is to launch your Etsy site. I know it's going to be a little bit different if you guys are working with an actual website. So if you guys have an actual domain on Wix or Shopify or your own actual website, that you'll be able to maybe create an email list, or you'll have the website go live and all of your products will be live all at once, versus uploading them one at a time, because as soon as you upload one item onto Etsy, your shop's pretty much open. So I kind of didn't really understand what that was until I did it, and it's just uploading all your items and then just telling everybody when you're open. Now, when it comes down to how much inventory you should have, how many candles in stock, how many different scents you should have, this is such a personal choice and something that I feel like a lot of people do a lot differently. So I'm just going to share you guys with my experience, not necessarily telling you this is exactly what you should be doing, just to give you an idea of what I did, so it'll give you a better understanding when you guys will be launching your own websites. So if we backtrack months back, so around probably a year ago, around maybe August, September last year, I was watching a lot of Jeff Stanley's videos, and I watched a lot of when he would talk about like farmers markets, and for some reason that always stuck in my head, and I thought that when I was selling candles, I was not going to sell them online, and I was only going to be selling them at farmers markets. So I always had kind of that mindset of I need to have tons and tons and tons of inventory before I launch, or else what's the point in even launching? What's the point in even selling online if I don't have a ton of stock? And as I became more realistic to the money that it was going to take to have that many, and just the prep work and the preparation of all that, and it really changed how I was feeling about what I was going to have in stock when it came time to opening up my shop. So in a lot of his videos, when he was talking about farmers markets, I remember him saying to have about 8 to 10 scents, and I believe about 15 to 20 candles in stock or with you when you go to a farmer's market. So I was thinking, okay, so I need to have, 15 to 20 candles in each scent and a ton of scents. And if you do the math, that's a lot of candles, and the supplies that I use is pretty, it's not expensive, but it's a little bit more on the expensive side. So what I settled on was I did want to have more of a variety of scents. I didn't just want to have a few different scents with a lot of candles in stock. I wanted to test the waters. So I wanted to test what the market wanted. I wanted to see what scents did well, what scents didn't do well. So my thinking when I was opening up my Etsy shop was, what am I going to do to where I can test the most amount of scents and not feel like candles are just sitting there when they could be used for other scents that are doing well. For instance, let's say I had a strawberry candle, and the strawberry candle didn't do as well as the blueberry candle, but I had 12 strawberry candles, and now I'm running low on blueberries, and I could have used half or more of those jars for blueberry candles, but yet it's just sitting there being a strawberry candle. What I chose to do was to keep 3 to 6 candles in stock of the scents, and I believe I launched with 6 or 7 different scents, with 3 to 6 candles in stock of each scent. This allowed me to see what scents were being chosen first, what scents were consistently selling, and that way, even if there was a scent that wasn't doing as well, I didn't have that many candles already made to where they would just be sitting there, and I felt like I kind of wasted making that scent when I could have used it for another scent. And I feel like this is probably the hardest part when it comes to candle making, is because we don't know what's gonna sell. We don't know which scents are gonna end up being our best sellers until we put it out on the market and we let them decide. So I didn't feel comfortable having tons and tons of inventory on hand of each scent. So I chose with that 3 to 6 range as kind of a baseline. And now I've chosen, every time I make my candles, I am starting to do more of like 6 to 8 on hand, maybe even pushing it a little bit more on the ones that I know are best sellers and ones that I know that will sell no matter what. And also, side note, I'm not saying that Jeff was telling us to have 15 to 20 cents in stock when you are launching online. That was just a farmer's market video, but I just had it in my head that I needed to have that many before I launched online, but I kind of changed what I needed and what I wanted to do based on my personal circumstance. So what I would recommend, if you guys have more inexpensive supplies, you can make tons of candles, and if you're thinking 3 to 6 candles is nothing and you're like, I'd rather just make 10, like I feel like they're gonna sell, definitely do that. I mean, more than likely they will sell, and as we know, the longer the candles sit, the better they are, so they're not gonna expire or go bad or anything. This was just my thinking in the beginning with using a little bit more expensive supplies. So now that it's been about 5 months of me selling on Etsy, I'm now trying to transition over to my own website. And with the knowledge that I've gained on Etsy of what scents are going to be best sellers, those are going to be the scents that I'm going to transition over to my personal website to sell my candles on. And I won't be experimenting as much with different scents because I've kind of gauged a good understanding of what the market wants. Also, one thing I wanted to add into this video is that when I first launched my Etsy shop, I did have 2 sizes. However, I started to not feel as comfortable with the way that I wicked my smaller jar. I had a smaller 7-ounce candle alongside my 9.5 ounce candle, and I didn't feel as comfortable. I felt like I kind of rushed into the wicking of that one. I did sell quite a few of those, and I never had any issues or complaints or anything, but I just personally didn't feel as comfortable, and I felt like I kind of didn't put as much testing into that one as I should have, so I pulled that from my line. However, I do recommend for you guys to have at least 2 different sizes when you launch. I feel like that gives the customer a little bit more variety if they don't like one size, or if they don't want to pay a higher price for that candle and you have a smaller alternative. That's why I got these little 10s that I'm going to start using, because I do like the idea of having a smaller, more inexpensive candle for people to want to get, because not everybody is going to want to pay $30 for a candle. The second thing I wanted to talk about in this video is how long I let my candles cure before I sell them. This goes for wax melts as well. I get this question all the time. So what I do when I make my candles is I will make my candles in bulk or in batches. I've started doing about 16 to 24 candles at a time. That might sound like nothing to a lot of you guys, but for some reason when I'm making my candles, it just takes me such a long time setting it all up, and then I'm very, very slow when it comes to making candles. I know that, and I need to kind of speed it up, and also kind of the space that I have around here. I don't have that much space to put tons of candles, so 24 candles pretty much fills up a whole table, a whole folding table for me. Basically what I do is I make my candles and I let them kind of set overnight, and then the next day I will clip them, and then most of the time I will label them, but sometimes I get too lazy and I let them sit another day, and then the next day I will label them and most likely put them up in my shop, and then they will start selling that very next day. So I make them on the first day. On the second day, I will trim the wick and put the label on, and then the third day I will get them listed. So they've already been sitting for 2 days technically, and then that third day is the first day they can sell. So technically by the third day of curing is the most minimum time that they will be curing before a customer is able to purchase them. Now at that point, they will be shipped off the next day, and it could be 2 to 3 days before they get to the customer. So it could be minimum 5 days up to a week that they've been curing before they get to the customer. Now, this is just the fastest possible time that they will receive a candle. This goes for my wax melts as well. Also, one thing to note, that is the minimum amount of time. I mean, it could be weeks before the customer gets it. I've had many times that it has been over a month, maybe even probably close to 2 months, that a customer will receive like a wax melt, not necessarily a candle. My candles sell a little bit quicker, but sometimes I have had wax melts sit for between a month and 2 months before they get to the customer. So that is also something to think about too. You can't just think of as soon as you make your candles, they're all gonna sell. I mean, that would be amazing, but that they're all gonna sell like overnight, and then you're gonna be like, oh my God, do they have enough time to cure? And it also just depends on the kind of wax you're using. So you guys have to know when your candle performs its best. So if you do need to wait that 2-week time to cure, then you have to take that into consideration before you list your candles for sale. So if you need to let them sit for, you know, a week and a half or a week and 5 days before you list them so that they're able to get that full 2-week cure time, then that's what you're gonna have to do. But again, this is just something for you personally. Whatever wax you're working with, you're gonna have to learn and understand your wax, know when it performs its best, how many days that your personal wax needs before it cures. Just because my wax takes 3 to 5 days doesn't mean that somebody else's wax is gonna take 3 to 5 days. Sometimes people will pour it and it's already good to go. The next day it performs beautifully and there's no issues. Other people need about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. They wait as long as possible before shipping it out. So it really just depends on the kind of wax you're using. But anyways, guys, that is all for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at MemoryBoxCandleCo. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.